All right, guys, we got to talk about Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. Did I get it right? Something like that. Anyways, like I said, if you don't know, Rekieta Law is one of the largest LawTube channels on YouTube. I still don't know if people are using that term ironically or not, but yeah. And there's been a crazy situation recently, like over the last 48 hours or so, give or take, where Rekieta's channel was deleted, and then his Twitch was deleted, and now his YouTube channel's back. And so I spent a good bit of time looking into the situation as to why his channel got banned, and I came to the conclusion that there were two possibilities, pretty obvious. One possibility that he actually did break terms of service, and 3 times specifically, meaning if you get 3 community guidelines strike all in the same period, so to speak, your channel gets deleted. Or, second possible explanation, he got false flagged. So I actually recorded a video yesterday going into further detail about those possible theories. And then literally while the video was uploading, like not even processing in the editor, the video was processed, it was all done, it was uploading to YouTube, it was like 20% uploaded. And then I got news that Rekieta's Twitch was banned. I mentioned this already, but that's when I found out. So then I was thinking, oh man, that would be really important information to put in the video that I'm about to upload. So now I'm not sure if I should upload this. So I start looking into the Twitch situation some more. And about 30 minutes after that, his YouTube channel is unbanned. So I ended up deciding to not release the video on Rekieta yesterday, and that's why I only had one segment yesterday. Ended up not releasing that one, and now here we are today with the current information. And let me clarify a little bit here, although I don't want to go into a bunch of detail about information that's now old, but the theory about him breaking TOS, that wasn't based on nothing. That was based on statements that he actually made talking about things I believe he got strikes for in the past. So I was basically just sort of putting the pieces of the puzzle together and taking a look at more recent things that may have gotten him a 3rd strike if that's what happened. Alas, we now know that he also got banned on Twitch, which actually was more evidence to suggest he was false flagged because YouTube TOS breaks shouldn't apply to Twitch as well. It's a bit weird, right, if they do. I'm not saying it's impossible. Sometimes Twitch and YouTube do work together on things. I've seen that before. Generally, that doesn't happen, though, so that was a bit odd. Not fully convincing, but odd, right? And then when Rekieta, his YouTube channel came back, at that point, the evidence that he got false flagged is very, very convincing. Another piece of evidence that he got false flagged is people reporting him to the Bar Association, Minnesota Bar Association, and apparently they've never revoked his law license, meaning that the complaints are apparently without merit. So if people are sending false complaints to the bar, it's then reasonable to presume that they would also try and false flag his YouTube channel. But yeah, I wasn't fully convinced that he actually got false flagged until this new information came out. I wasn't fully convinced that he broke TOS either. Like I said, I was still trying to figure it all out, piece the puzzle together. Part of the reason why I wasn't fully convinced he got false flagged, though, is because I couldn't fathom that people would actually false flag the guy. Because if you know what occurred, and I don't want to recap all this because it's like too much stuff to go through. Basically, somewhat recently, he's been rather heated about certain topics that involve children. Now, even if you disagree with how he handled himself in these situations, which I actually think he could have handled himself a bit better in some of them. For example, there was this one dude he brought on his stream for a debate or a talk or something, but the dude had no intention of talking with Rekieta. The entire reason that guy was on Rekieta's show was to try to bait Rekieta into saying something that would negatively impact his channel or get him completely deplatformed, get him banned, etc., etc. So, for example, I think Nick made a mistake bringing this guy on the show. I also think Nick made a mistake getting so heated with this guy on the show, like knowing what he was trying to do. But here's the thing. Part of why I like Nick is because he's the sort of dude I can disagree with him on things with, and he'll talk to you about it. He'll talk to me about it. He'll talk to you about it. He might sit down and have a glass of whiskey, but he'll talk to people about things. Caveat being, with the lesson now learned, maybe he should be a little bit more careful with who he talks to, because if the other person has no intention of actually talking and just wants to bait you into deplatforming you, well, I mean, why even give that the time of the day? But here's the point. Like I said, I still couldn't entirely fathom that people would want to false flag the man, because ultimately, at least from my understanding of what I saw happen, he was getting heated and passionate about topics that involve people that harm children. So even if you disagree with the way he handled himself, I would assume you would just turn off his stream, maybe even like downvote the video, if anything. Maybe leave a comment about why you disagree with him. But to false flag his channel and report him to the bar, that seems like a really, really, really weird hill to try and die on when he was getting passionate about defending children from predators. Again, I don't know why you would ruin a man's life for that, even if you disagree with his approach to it. That just seems like a bad move. Like, again, I couldn't fathom that that's actually what happened, but it seems like that's really the reality of the situation, that people false flagged him over stuff like that. Crazy to me. I gotta also say, I had a little bit more faith in YouTube too, that they wouldn't actually fall for a false flag campaign, because I think YouTube's actually gotten better about not falling for false flag campaigns over the years. It seems like it used to happen more frequently than it does now. Ultimately, though, like I said, as we know with the new information, it really looks like Nick was indeed false flagged. So wow. Although at the very least, I guess I can at least give credit to YouTube for resolving this so quickly. I mean, this all went down super quick within a span of what, like 48 hours, give or take? Now, let me also mention something for some people that may be confused as to why I'm even talking about Rekieta. Like, there's probably some people that don't know things. So let me explain some things very briefly here. If on a surface level you're like, oh, Hero, hey, talking about Rekieta, it's interesting. Isn't Rekieta like a law channel? Doesn't he cover like certain political topics? Doesn't Hero, hey, not like politics and all that? I can understand why some people might be confused right now. So like I said, let me explain this. Rekieta and I actually go back to 2019 when the Vic Mignogna situation was going on, and there was a legal situation going on as well, with Vic Mignogna suing Funimation, Monica Rial, Jamie Markey, and Ron Toy. And so I covered that situation, so did Rekieta. That's how I met him. There was even a situation in 2019 where Anime News Network issued a copyright strike on my channel, where I was basically going through a podcast they had done with Vic Mignogna back, I think it was like 2012. It was back in 2012 or so. And I was listening to the podcast on stream, still when I did streams on my channel pretty regularly. And I was commenting on it, pausing it, commenting on it, this sort of thing. And apparently they thought I was impeding on their copyright or something, and when the stream was done, the video was up, they struck the video, got it taken down, put a strike on my channel. Well, Rekieta and I talked about that, and he ended up representing me in a counteraction against Anime News Network, and we ultimately won that dispute. So with Nick Rekieta's help, I was able to beat Anime News Network, and for that I will always appreciate Nick for. That was very, very nice of him. And over the years, he's also helped me out with other certain things behind the scenes, legal things. So I think he's a nice dude. Yeah, I don't like all the political stuff. I'm sure there are plenty of things I disagree with him on politically as well, like I said. But ultimately, he's been a nice, good dude to me. And like I said, I appreciate that he'll talk to people. And yeah, I guess that's really all there is to say about this one. Oh, wait, no, there is a few more things. So going back to Nick and the updates himself, it does look like he apparently won't be posting on YouTube for like 2 weeks or so, because it seems he may still have a strike on his channel or two, which is stopping his ability to post for a couple of weeks, potentially. I'm still not 100% confirmed with all that stuff. And I think he's kind of still seeing how it's all going to play out too, regarding those strikes, if they're going to get lifted. But the main thing is his channel is back, as you know. So if you want to check him out, you could find him over there. Oh, I also think he mentioned that he still wants to stream more on Odyssey anyways, though, so perhaps something to keep in mind. We'll leave it there. As always, thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you in the comments, as well as in the next segment, which will be tomorrow.